It happened fast and was over way too quick. And as soon as I was done, I immediately wanted to do it again. My first time shooting flash photography, people. Let's talk about it. Flash photography. I suppose better late than never here. I understand and get flash photography and why it's so great when you finally opt into doing it. I've been a pretentious over the last 10, 15 years saying I'm an available light shooter. And that's true. I predominantly shoot with available light lenses, thus my mindset of always using available light versus utilizing a flash to take the photos that I do. I also shoot a lot of street photography and I don't like people noticing me when I shoot street photography, so I tend to avoid using a flash at all costs in that particular situation. However, my first time using a flash was at a concert where people expect to have their photograph taken, so it was way better to break out a flash and jump into that situation. So it was a 2-day concert slash festival of a bunch of different DJs, people getting dressed up, kind of bohemian style, rave style, lots of different styles, funny shirts, funny signs, just people having an overall great time. And what better time to break out a flash than that? So that's what I did. At night, it was too dark to really optimize photographs. Even with the faster lenses that I had, I would have to wait for the light from the stage to pan through the crowd to get a solid shot of a person. And it just wasn't happening enough, or it was happening at such a rapid pace, it was hard to grab the focus. It was hard to grab the focus during that pan to snag a shot in the moments that I could. So that's what happened the first day. I did not use a flash the first day, and I did get some good photographs, especially late at night, but really felt I was missing the essence of the festival. So the second day, a lot of the photographers I was around swore, break out a flash, try it out, use it. Now I've had a flash for 2 years, but I've never opted into using it. So I figured this would be the perfect scenario to break out a flash and take some photographs. Do I know what I'm doing here? Not really, but I'm learning, and that's one of the things about photography I think is the most important thing, is to constantly be learning, constantly be pushing yourself, and constantly be trying new things. The last thing you ever want to do is get stuck in your ways and think you know it all, because as soon as you have that feeling of knowing it all within a field, you really know nothing, you're limiting yourself, and you're gonna start to fade out of the picture, because people will always be progressing and pushing past the place you decided to settle. So that's my advice for all photographers out there. I typically don't give advice, but if you feel you know everything, trust me, you do not. Regardless of the amount of time I've been doing this, I always feel there's new stuff to learn, new stuff to try, be it some piece of technology, some legacy-based technique. For example, editing in black and white. I heard a 65-year-old say, hey, if you want to get the color right and the contrast right and the saturation right, edit your photos in black and white and then switch them over to color, and you'll get much better color renditions out of the photographs that you're editing. And that is one of the most valuable pieces of advice I've been given, because I felt I could never truly get the color right in certain situations. And that one piece of advice changed my entire post-production workflow for how I edit photographs. Back to flash photography. So I jumped back into the crowd, and what I love about music festivals is it's such an endorphin rush. People want to have their photograph taken. With using a flash, I do like to ask people if I can take their photo, just because I do feel a flash is kind of invasive into that personal space that people have around them naturally. So in most cases, I was asking people if I could take their photo. It's not my favorite way to go about taking photographs, as I do like that more candid-esque style of photography that's applicable to street photography. But in this case, I decided to make an exception and really go beyond what I was, I don't want to say comfortable, but used to doing, and trying some stuff out. And I think these photographs turned out great. Could they have been better with the flash had I known all the different settings and different ways to tweak the flash and camera settings for how they pair together? Probably, but like I said, this was my first time really fidgeting around with a flash and trying it out. But let's be real. It is great to know how to shoot with the available resources around you, being natural light, being some incandescent light, and not having to attach third-party accessories to your camera to get your photograph. But in certain situations, you're not gonna have a choice. And if you want to take the most amount of photos that you can and really optimize your shooting situation, that's where I feel a flash is going to come in handy. I am thoroughly convinced that I've done myself a disservice by waiting as long as I have to try out a flash and really have fun with it. And that's kind of where I stand on it. If you're going to really push yourself in photography just because you like utilizing your camera one way, just because you feel this is the best way to do photography, every now and then, step outside of your comfort zone, step out for the day and just try something new. Try something you haven't tried before and push yourself into a direction. And if you don't like it, pull it back and go back to what you were doing. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, if you're not constantly trying new things within the world of photography, you are limiting yourself quite a bit. And that is a place I don't think you ever want to be. There's obviously the business aspect of thing, rinse and repeat, get your money, but simultaneously there's the artistic point of view where you do want to be pushing yourself and trying new things and capturing new types of visuals that you haven't necessarily created before. And that's what I was doing here. I had a lot of fun with it, and the second day I used a flash was at the Wits End Comedy Club, which is a great comedy club in North Charleston. Lots of class acts come through, as well as the past comedians and people on the open mic nights. And we did a group photograph. It would have been best to have 2 strobe lights set up plus a flash. Unfortunately, my strobe lights got stolen when I was in LA. So we did a group shot.
No one should be looking at the camera. Okay.
All I had was the available light plus the flash, and then immediately following the group shot, I was like, all right, I got this flash, let's do some cool stuff. So we headed up to the stairwell, which goes up to the green room and the game room, and just one comedian after the next rolled in, and we did some headshots, we did some creative shots. We just had a lot of fun with it for about 45 minutes. So I got to document a lot of the local comedians and take their headshots that way. And again, still new to shooting flash, still trying it out. There's a lot of styles I really want to develop. And one is a film noir-esque style, which that's probably one of my favorite styles of photography. And I've been trying to replicate it in some way, and I haven't been able to do it, and it's been the most frustrating thing. And I think primarily one of the reasons I haven't been able to do that is because film noir typically utilizes a flash in a lot of the photographs. So hopefully it's only a matter of time now. I feel I've taken one step closer to getting to where I want to be with that particular style. But yeah. That's my thoughts on shooting flash and photography and stepping out of your comfort zone and pushing yourself into new areas you haven't tried before. Don't limit yourself. This is a creative field as well as any business components factor into it. Figure out the stuff you can rinse and repeat to make your money, but always be trying new things. And one of those new things you can try can ultimately generate you more money should people see it, should people want it, should businesses want it. You never know. And if you're not pushing yourself into new areas of photography, you are both limiting yourself creatively and from a business perspective as well. So always try new things, always be pushing yourself into different verticals and areas of photography or creative field you haven't tried before, and expanding your horizons on what you can do and what equipment you're comfortable with using. The more equipment you know how to use, the more things you can ultimately create, the more looks and styles and overall aesthetics that you want to present to the world will be there for you to present. So that's my thoughts. First time shooting flash photography. Absolutely love using a flash. Could not recommend a flash more. Definitely something people should have in their camera bag. I'm Renton Vlogs, aka the Super Mediocre. Talk to you soon. Peace.
Looking at them palm trees. We smoking hella weed, palm trees, palm trees. Smoking hella weed, looking